comes to smartphones, there are only two religions, iPhone and Android. And like any religion, the rivalry is at its peak. There was a time when Android was winning the battle of simplicity, price, and performance. And it was a huge market. There was only a micro group of people who were willing to pay a huge amount for using iPhones. While the Android group thought that the iPhone was so simple and pricey, for iPhone users, it was elegant. But things are very different now, as every year millions of people are ditching Android for iPhone in the US. Although in the rest of the world, Android still has a huge market share, but the iPhone has been gaining popularity internationally as well. If we look at the stats, in the last 5 years only, the Android market share in the world has dropped from 77% in 2018 to 70% in 2023, whereas the iPhone market went up from 20% to 29%. And though it does not look like a big number at first, but in a world population of 8 billion people where everyone has a smartphone nowadays, this market share is more than half a billion people who switched to iPhone in the last 5 years only. And if you consider the same stats, then another 5 years and Android will struggle to survive. So now the question is that why everyone is ditching Android? And is it the end of Android? Let's figure out. When Android was designed in 2003, it was not for the purpose of using it in smartphones. It was designed for digital cameras. There was nothing like smartphones back then. But the market for digital cameras using Android was very small, and creators were not able to make money. So they tried their luck in the phone industry. At that time, companies were using operating systems like Symbian and Microsoft Office Mobile. Initially, creators faced a hard time getting investors. They even tried their luck with companies like Samsung and HTC, but it did not work. Google then saw the opportunity, and in July 2005, they bought the company for $50 million. And after 18 years, Android is one of the best deals of Google. Initially, Android was developed for phones like BlackBerry. But after Apple launched the iPhone with a touchscreen, Google had to redesign the Android. But still, for a very long time, their physical buttons stayed the same. After a shaky start, Android picked up the market and soon became the king of mobile operating systems. And this success can be attributed to 5 main factors. The first reason is the early entry advantage. Before Android, the operating systems for handheld devices were not doing very well, but mobile phone companies had no option. But after Android came, it grabbed the market. From 2005 to 2015, many smartphone companies came, and Android became the default choice for them. Looking at the success of Android, Microsoft also tried coming into this segment with their mobile operating system, Windows Phone, but it failed badly and was discontinued in 9 years only. Now the second reason, price. When you compare the Android and iPhone, their price made a huge difference. In the early smartphone days, you could get an Android phone for $100 to $200, whereas iPhones started from $700. And it was only in US. In other countries, the difference was even huge. And Android phones were giving the same features and apps. In fact, at that time, most of the apps were in Android only. And that brings us to the third reason, customization and features. When software becomes open source, it means it's widely available for customization. And due to these customizations, many phone companies and app creators diverted towards Android. Do you remember jailbreaking in Android phones? And in iPhones, jailbreaking was considered a violation of user agreement. And how can we forget the Android widgets, which were not available in iPhone until 2014? The next reason is exciting options. When the iPhone was introduced, it was either black, white or silver. And it was like this until 2013, when they introduced new colors for the first time. Whereas Android phones have plenty of options. Phones from Samsung, HTC, Motorola, Oppo and OnePlus had so many colors and design options. And most Android users considered iPhones too bland or boring. And finally, one of the strongest differentiators, fixing your phone, be it battery or screen. With the iPhone, if you break the screen or if the battery dies, you cannot switch it. Whereas in most Android phones, phone screens and batteries were replaceable. I cannot remember how many times I replaced my phone batteries and fix the phone screen. And due to all these reasons, Android was undoubtedly a non-replaceable option. But time has changed now. It's not 2010 or 2015. We are in 2023 and things have changed a lot. Although people still want a phone with better price, performance, customizations and features, but does Android still provide all these features? Let's see. Let's start with the price. We all know iPhones are expensive, but do you know about Android market? In 2010, Apple launched iPhone 4 starting from $600 and Samsung launched Galaxy S1 for $400. Now in 2023, the Samsung Galaxy S23 starting price is $799 and the iPhone 15 as a starting price is also $799. But the highest version of Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra has surpassed the iPhone with a whopping price of $1,619, whereas with the same features, iPhone 15 Pro is $1,599. The same is true for other premium phones as well. So in reality, Android phones have exploded in price. Over the years, iPhone's beginning versions have not increased so much in price, but Android phones' starting prices have increased substantially. Now whenever you have to choose between Samsung and iPhone, with one literally doing a lot of customizations in their proprietary software, be it saving your data or battery optimizations, creating an ecosystem and providing regular updates to save you from any threats, and coming at almost the same price, then whom would you choose? Now let's look at features. You might have heard about people complaining about iPhone prices, but have you seen anyone complaining about battery performance or phones getting hanged? Not really, right? Because iOS has been optimized so much over the years, and with Android, the battery performance has not improved substantially. Now when we talk about customizations like colors, the iPhone now has quite a few color options, though it's still fewer as compared to Android, but still they are not limited to 2 options now. And now one of the most important differentiators with Android was replacing batteries. But nowadays most Android phones do not have an option to switch batteries. So while Android is losing its edge by copying Apple, on the other side Apple has copied so many good features from Android, like introducing customization of colors, fonts and even introducing widgets. While it's not that Android has not done anything in these years, it's just the factors that were making Android phone a choice for mass are fading. You see, when phones and then smartphones were introduced, it started with developed nations and slowly went to the rest of the world. But still, a decade back, the middle class was using smartphones majorly for making calls, texting and doing some surfing on the internet. Data was expensive and social media and influencers were not the norm. But over the years, the usage of phone has changed a lot. In 2023, the first thing you do after waking up is checking your phone. If you are a working professional, you will check your emails and work. If you are an influencer, you will check your social media account. If you are a business person, you would chat with your clients and partners. So basically your work revolves around smartphone. It is not a luxury anymore, but a necessity. Today you need a smartphone that will help you save your time and make you more productive, and you are ready to invest in it. With the simplicity of iPhone packaged with data security, a variety of apps that are designed to make you more productive, and an ecosystem that provides the experience you want from your smartphone. And while Android has lost its edge in price, customizations and performance, people have every reason to switch to the iPhone and combine it with a status symbol. It's not pricey anymore, and that is why everyone is ditching Android. Let us know what you think about this changing trend. By the way, which phone you use? Are you also an iPhone customer or do you prefer Android? Let us know in the comments below. And definitely subscribe to the channel. This is an extremely small channel and your support will help me with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you.